My name's Josiah Carver, and my book is called Ghost Baby. Dedicated to family and friends. One day there were two friends. Their names were John and Mary. They got married, and 1 year later they had twin girls. Their names were Carrie and Sarah. They bought a mansion in the middle of John's family graveyard. The next week they had everything moved in. Then they were at the table eating dinner, and the chandelier fell, and it was only 2 inches away from Carrie. Mary ran over to Carrie and said, "I'm so glad you're okay." The next day they left to go out to eat dinner, and when they got home all the furniture was on the ceiling, and then it fell. Then Mary and John called 911 and said, "All of my furniture is on the ceiling." The people at the police station said, "This number is for emergencies only." So Mary did the next best thing. She called her mother because her mother was an expert at ghost hunting. When her mother got there, her mother said, No, I can't help you." Then she walked out the door and drove off. So the next night, they are all in bed when John says, "Did you hear that?" Mary said, "It's nothing, go back to bed." So he went back to bed, and the next morning they go out to eat, and when they got back, their furniture was in different places than they were when they left. So they moved all of their furniture back to where it was before and left. And behind a chair they found a lot of baby toys. They knew that they weren't theirs because the girls were 11 years old and got rid of all the baby toys. So they got rid of them, and the next day they were there again. So they got rid of them again and again and again, until they put it in the lake by their house and weighed them down, and they did not come again. So the next day Mary went to the lake to put it in the lake by their house and wait. Mary went to the basement to do some laundry. When she got down there, she saw a little dress that was wet. What the family didn't know that they had a ghost baby in their house. The baby's family were enemies of John's family. Janie, the little ghost girl, had died while her mom and her were on a bridge. Janie's mom had tripped on a rock and dropped Janie, and she died. This is where the chandelier fell. That was chapter 1. Chapter 2. In the middle of the night, the TV came on, and there was a little girl with blue eyes, red cheeks, blonde hair, and a pale face. She said, "I coming, ha ha ha." And then the stove came on behind the TV. When the house catches on fire, it is a dark fire, and it slowly makes its way through the house. And it started in the kitchen and made its way to the living room and slowly made its way up the stairs. It got to the girls' room, and then the smoke detector called the fire department. The next thing they know, there were firemen in their bedroom saying, Are you two okay? Can you hear me?" Mary replied, "What's going on? Where are my girls?" The fireman replied, "They are okay. They will be fine. Let's get out of here." So they all got out of the house. This is where the TV came on and the stove came on behind. That was chapter 2. Chapter 3. The next day they went home, and the strangest thing happened. Nothing was burnt, and nothing had a smoke smell, and everything was perfectly fine. No smoke residue, nothing. So they moved back in, and they found a note that said, parentheses, square, square, plus, dash, rectangle, rectangle, arrow, and a bunch of gibberish. Then they could not understand it. So when they got moved in, they saw the baby toys again, and Mary screamed. So they put them back in the lake, and they go to bed. John heard a strange noise. It sounded like little feet on the hallway floor. John started to freak out. Then Mary said, "You're just having a bad dream. Go back to bed." So John went back to bed. The next day, they went to the store and bought anti-ghost doors for every room, and it did not work. So they called a paranormal expert. And the paranormal expert said, "I feel a dark presence among us, and it is a toddler." Then Mary said, "So what can we do?" All of a sudden, the paranormal expert is getting pushed across the room to the front door. She says, "I can't help you. I'll send you the bill." And Mary said, "Why should I give you any money? You didn't do anything." This is where the mansion caught on fire and the fire department's there. That was chapter 3. One day, John was walking out to his car to go to work, and all of a sudden, a little girl that was a toddler ran out the door, and she looked like she was going to give him a hug. When she grabs him, her eyes turn yellow and pointy, and her teeth turn sharp. Then she says, "Bye-bye, John," and drags him down to the basement. But what the ghost doesn't know is that he is leaving a trail of peppermints to the basement, and after he left the peppermint trail, the little baby said, "I just want to play forever." This is where the ghost goes out and grabs John. That was chapter 4. Chapter 5. When Mary and the 2 girls got home, they saw the peppermints leading to the basement, and they followed them. And when they go to the basement, they find a secret room. They see John in a crib surrounded by baby toys. They spell out "fun time." That was chapter 5, and this is the picture of the peppermint trail leading to the basement. Chapter 6. And John has a bib on, and he is ice cold. His mother gets out her phone and calls 911 and says, "I need an ambulance at 5512 Graveyard Road." The autopsy shows that John died from a heart attack of being scared, literally being scared to death. That was the picture of the life ambulance taken him to the hospital to get an autopsy. That was chapter 6. Chapter 7. So Mary and the twins moved far away. They moved to New York City, New York. The end. Or is it? And in the time in the story where it says the bunch of gibberish, it means, "Hi, my name is Jamie. I just want to play." This story is based on a true story about a house on one of my friend's street. This is the house for sale. The end. Or is it?
What was your favorite part about doing this book?
That I actually got to write it, and I got to read it to different classes in what I'm doing right now. And I write a lot of books. And my grandpa's an author. He does the genealogy, and he actually publishes it to the genealogy section of the Portsmouth Republic. It's the books are called Carver Family Heritage.
I think I've seen him in there working on stuff. That's cool.
And my grandpa, I'm pretty much following after his footsteps, and he's an author, and I like to write. I wrote several stories, and I want to get them published.
Cool. What was the most difficult part about doing the book?
Like how getting the spelling correct, and the like punctuations, and like run-on sentences, and like not enough words on each page, and some of the drawing. And
That's great. Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Not really. It's just my grandmother. She also my grandmother read my book because we got several copies, and she's into Stephen King, like the type of horror books, and she said my book was kind of a Stephen King-ish book.
Well, that's cool. Well, I'm glad that you get to share them with your family too. Well, thanks so much for reading for us.
You're welcome.